recurring theme here today. Counting down to Halloween this weekend means Thanksgiving is a little less than a month away, and soon after that, Christmas, and then the end of another year. So if you have been putting off your estate planning, the clock really is ticking. We have our expert in elder law and estate planning, David Carrier, here with us today. This is such an important time of the year.
It's a great time of the year, you know, especially Halloween, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, what's creepier than ghouls and goblins, witches and all that? Lawyers.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Well,
I mean,
let me just say that when I think about my estate, I hope that there are more treats than tricks for my heirs.
That's right. Well, but that's up to you, really. Yeah. It's not it's not a matter of luck. It's not, oh boy, isn't it amazing the way things worked out? It's a matter of planning. You know, if you choose the future that you have, you choose the future for your kids. And it's not like we say in our cartoons, you know, it's not the happily ever after is a choice, not a chance.
Right, exactly. And so when we talk about it, we have so many different concepts and versions of what families are, and
right.
Often maybe through divorce or death, there are remarriages that go on, and so that sets up multiple layers
right.
almost of retirement
We
funds.
get a lot of that, you know, the whole blended family thing. People are getting married later in life. It happens. Mm-hmm. And now you have, you know, the assets that were built up in this marriage, and then the assets that were built up in that marriage, and then we've got kids over here and kids over there. And before we even get to the kids, you know, we're worried about the spouses. In the last few weeks, we got one of the emails on this. In the last few weeks, we had several situations where one spouse goes into the nursing home, or just gets married, and a month later, the spouse they got married to is now in the nursing home. I mean, a month later. It does happen.
And so then what happens, in fact, we have a specific question that came into your office that we'd like to share, because I think there are a lot of people who may fall into this. If my mother has to go into a nursing home, can they access or delete her IRA, which is currently in mutual funds?
Yeah, and the answer is in Michigan. And some states are different, Pennsylvania, for example, but in Michigan, an IRA is just another asset. So anything, and it doesn't matter if it's mutual funds or stocks and bonds or what have you, whatever you have in your IRA is it's like money in your checking account.
Okay, even though there might be penalties to withdrawing it and those sorts of things?
Well, too bad, so sad, I guess.
Really?
Huh? You know,
okay, you have to liquidate that.
You have to liquidate it, and you have to pay whatever tax there may be, you know, when you pull the IRA out, you know, because now you've got to pay the income tax, and you don't get to pay it out over several years. You've got to take that IRA out right now if you're in the long-term care. And the thing is, if your spouse is in long-term care, your IRA is just as much at risk. You know,
okay.
Now think about, you got a blended family. We've got, you know, both spouses died, right? And so your previous spouse's IRA rolls to you, right? And you're thinking, well, my kids will get mine, your kids will get yours. How nice is that? And then one of the partners, one of the spouses, winds up in the nursing home, and there goes all the family money.
Right, and so you want to make sure that you're not prohibiting people who fall in love again and would like to get married again from being penalized for doing just that.
That's right. And the beauty part is, it's like all of this stuff. If you want to do it, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? And we'll say where there's a will, there's a probate court, right?
Where there's a trust, there's a way. Yeah. Maybe that should be the new phrase.
That's a lawyer joke for you. Go ahead, use that lawyer joke. There's a will, there's a probate court. Yeah. No, but it's very unusual for us to have a situation where there's no answer to it. And not every answer, it's not like every situation fits together like a jigsaw puzzle, but we're always going for the better. You know, you always have a choice, better or worse. What are you gonna do? Mm-hmm. And it's like I say, it's unusual that we can't make things significantly better. But you know, in order to make that happen, people have to start the process. And I wasn't kidding when I said, you know, lawyers are spookier than ghouls and goblins, you know what I mean? One of the things that we do with our life plan workshops, the reason we do them all the time, the reason they're a very comfortable, sort of fast-moving situation, the reason we do it that way is to make it very easy for folks to get started. And it's not just you know, sometimes people are like, ooh, go to the lawyer office, that's pretty spooky all by itself. I get it. So we have free reports. You don't even have to show up. I mean, we'll send you a report, you know, educate yourself if you want to before you come to the workshop.
Right,
that's okay too.
And you know, we talk about with different spouses and different maybe lifestyles and different ailments that people can get. Alzheimer's
Right.
is a really scary one.
Really
and
scary.
so when we have another question from one of your, that came into your office, how can I protect myself financially from my spouse who is at the beginning stages of Alzheimer's disease? Because you know that means additional care, maybe eventually long-term care,
Right.
assisted living, those sorts of things. If you're the spouse who's surviving and the caretaker, you could be financially depleted.
Oh, there's no question about that. But see, here's the thing. You can't, well, I guess my first word of act, okay, act, do something. When you get the diagnosis, lots of folks, they throw up their hands, they give up, they say, okay, we've got
It's too late.
It's too late, we can't do anything about it. In fact, the diagnosis itself, for an awful lot of families, that's the impetus. That's the first time they say, whoa, I guess we better do something. Now, would it have been better if they'd done it before? Well, yeah, but the game's not over yet.
So you can still qualify for things like maybe long-term care insurance, those sorts of things.
Well, not
Maybe-
long-term care insurance. I mean, forget, unless you're Jack LaLanne, you're not getting long-term
Okay.
care insurance, okay? I mean, when he was still alive.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you can still do your powers of attorney, you can still do your trust. There's an awful lot of planning that can be done after the diagnosis occurs. The thing with planning, it's like, the old thing about planting a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree?
Right.
20 years ago and this afternoon.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Right? So just get started. It's really not that scary. I mean, we do our very best. You've been to the office. I mean, we try to be friendly.
We've been to
and all
the
that.
office. You always say you bring treats in for us all the time, although I saw you show up empty-handed.
I did not show up
Oh, okay.
empty-handed.
All right. Well, they must have just been
Slander.
snagged out in the back room.
Well, you guys
before
took
you
away
got
the
all the way in
table.
here. Okay, there we go. So you have life plan workshops, which is a great starting point for people, and you have several coming up, including this week in time for Halloween, right?
I'm outraged. You think I didn't bring treats?
I thought I was outraged that you didn't bring treats. So you also have some into the first weekend in November, and we should remind people the holiday times are really
Right,
great opportunities
right.
because all the family members are around, and you make accommodations for people. To come
Well,
in.
we do the Black Friday workshop, and we do 2 workshops. It's the only workshop during the year where we guarantee pie.
Okay.
Because it's leftover pie from Thanksgiving. See, that's how
Exactly.
it works.
Oh, yeah.
So if your kids are coming into town, get your seats early. Those always fill up.
Fill up, yes.
Right, and not sell out.
Not
No,
sell out,
No,
because
because that implies we charge you. Which
There's no
we don't.
charge, but you do have to reserve a spot because
Yes,
they
you
do
do.
fill up quickly.
That's right.
Thanks so much. Great information, and we love having you here
Thanks,
as our
Terry.
Ask the Expert. And stay right there. More of 8West when we come back.
Like I would.
Are you West?